and write down on a sheet of paper, if I could figure out X on LinkedIn, it would make this panel worth it, right? If I could figure out X, it would make this panel worth it. Peyton, are we live streaming? So this is also being live streamed. It'll be going out on LinkedIn as well as part of this. It'll be one of those fun segments. But if I could figure out X on LinkedIn, it can transfer my business, help me build revenue. What is it? Take 2 seconds to write that down. And while they do that, please welcome to the stage Melissa Cohen, Wendy Shore, and Kevin Turner. Jess, will you grab me a glass of water? Thank you. I'm legit losing my damn voice. He acts like I've been talking for 3 days. Hey, Tim, you dropped this.
You anywhere.
Did you order whiskey or water?
Yes, yes.
3 more.
Yes. Thank you, man.
That's why it feels like the North Pole in here.
So let's do this for anybody who does not know you guys. I don't know how they wouldn't. For those who do not know, donut. By the way, there are extra donuts and shit out there. Help yourselves. For anybody who doesn't know you guys, please introduce yourself shortly, briefly, and then tell them, like you did, how you came to LinkedIn. I know you invented LinkedIn, but how you came to LinkedIn and how that became your platform. So start us off, love.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Cohen. I am a personal branding and LinkedIn strategist, and I'm in New York City. How I came to LinkedIn is I lost my job during the pandemic. I'd been with Ralph Lauren for over 11 years. That's where I figured I was going to retire. I had almost 30 years of experience in the industry, and the pandemic completely killed the fashion industry. And I realized that my network wasn't going to give me a job the way they'd always had in the past. And I said, I better figure out that LinkedIn thing I joined like 8 years ago. And here we are.
Beautiful. Wendy?
My name is Wendy Shore, rhymes with entrepreneur. And I am a business growth consultant. I help people build brand authority and grow their business on LinkedIn. And how I came to LinkedIn was during the pandemic, I found myself on Clubhouse having business conversations, and I loved it. It was great. And then Clubhouse changed, and everybody was saying, get on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. And so I went over to LinkedIn, and I felt like I found home. You know, Donnie was saying about talking business. He could talk business all day long. That's how I am. And that's
how many restaurants did you run?
I owned 7, and I built 9. So yes, and I am out of the restaurant business since 2017. I loved it. I truly loved it. But sometimes it's just time to move on, and it was my time. So after 25 years of being in the restaurant business, and prior to that, I was a CPA. I found myself on LinkedIn. And made amazing connections, amazing friends, and built a business on LinkedIn. You know, I had a consulting business, but it grew and it changed and it pivoted because of the friends, the associations, and just the opportunities that are there.
My name's Kevin D. Turner. I'm managing partner for TNT Brand Strategist. I'm in career branding. You know, my favorite term is eliminating personal branding. And that's what people do. They throw everything into one place and they think everybody will figure it out. Nobody but your mom will, right? You got to be really refined. That's what I do. I help people do that. I got involved in LinkedIn. I was one of the first million people to join LinkedIn, which doesn't sound like a lot, but there's now 1.6 billion people there. It's the world. It's the business world. And the reason I got in there, I was traveling. I have done business in 140 countries. LinkedIn was my digital pen pal in a way. It was where everybody I knew, and I would get them all to join LinkedIn because I could see what they were doing every day. I could see where their kids were graduating. I could see, you know, all these things. There was one place to go, and it was there. And that's how I got involved in LinkedIn. And it was that whole concept. And then really discovered that you can build digital friends that are even better when you bring them into real life. And that's incredible because there's very few places you can do that with that kind of efficiency. And that's, that's what gets me excited about LinkedIn. So
Nice. So, from your guys' perspective, is LinkedIn a networking opportunity, a business development opportunity, or just a way to find clients?
Yes.
When you first got on the platform, what was your goal?
I mean, when I first got on the platform, my goal was to get another corporate job. And that did not happen. Bless you. When I lost my job, I was in my 50s. Ageism is real.
Oh, fuck yes, it is.
And I really struggled to find a full-time opportunity. I had ghosting experiences second to none. And I finally said, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was never entrepreneurial. The idea of having my own business never occurred to me. I sort of fell into it, initially consulting in the fashion space because that's what I knew. But the magic of LinkedIn started to give me different opportunities. I started to make a lot of connections, make a lot of friendships. I started to share a lot of my own thoughts and ideas, and people started asking me to help them with that. And that was really interesting to me. And for a while, I just pivoted between the two. I straddled both sides of it. I was consulting in fashion. I was doing, LinkedIn work. And I realized that this is truly what I love doing. Right? I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for LinkedIn. I wouldn't be in this room. I wouldn't know Johnny. I wouldn't know Wendy and Kevin. I wouldn't know any of the people here that I know. And, I say LinkedIn changed my life, and that sounds like hyperbolic and ridiculous, but LinkedIn changed my life. And don't underestimate what this platform can do for you if you show up with good intentions and you put in some effort, because it requires both.
Yeah, for sure. You can clap for that. Yeah, hell yes. Wendy, what were you trying to accomplish when you first got on LinkedIn?
I think when I first got on LinkedIn, I just wanted to continue the business conversations that I was having on Clubhouse. And back when I got on, LinkedIn had the audio rooms as well. Mm-hmm. So I spent a lot of times in the audio rooms. But, similar to Melissa, what happened was I found I was connecting with people. Because on LinkedIn, it's your real name. And because on LinkedIn, you're you, right? You meet people for who they are and how they are. And
you also can't hide.
You can't hide, right?
And you don't get as much of the stupid shit. It's getting worse now, but
yes, a lot of AI. And listen, I use AI, so I love AI, but a lot of just people who don't know what they're doing, posting, trying to help you grow your business.
Helping a lot of people have bad content faster since 2023.
Right, Stacey, bad content. What happened was I started building relationships, conversations, right? Conversations in the comments that led to DMs, meeting people. I got invited to LinkedIn headquarters. I had been on the platform for under a year, and somebody at LinkedIn took notice. It had to do with the collaborative articles. And let me just tell you this. I briefly met Melissa there because of LinkedIn. But then last year I came here because of LinkedIn. And it just deepened, like Kevin was saying about the IRL relationships. When I heard Kevin was on stage last year, I was like, I have to be here, right? Like, he's like,
you were the only one, though.
No, well, of course, and Melissa, right? Well, Melissa and Kevin, and the fact that you brought them all together was amazing to me. It really was. So the relationships you make on LinkedIn are real. They're real. And when you meet those people IRL in real life, it just deepens what's already there. And it's powerful. It's powerful. And I wound up, like Melissa, building a business because of LinkedIn in a way that I never expected. Off to you, my friend.
I love that. To me, it was all about connectivity, not just connectivity with those I knew, but those I wanted to know, and getting engaged and getting them really excited about trying to know me. And that exchange that's really simple on LinkedIn is what has developed a lot of opportunity for me and my family in the sense of doing business. So it doesn't start that way always, but it always ends there. And that's the beauty, I think, of LinkedIn.
How many of you guys follow Kevin? It's okay if you don't. How many updates to LinkedIn this year?
142.
If you're not following him, this dude literally knows more about LinkedIn than I ever care to know. But he can tell you every legit update in the world. So, okay. How the fuck do I make money from LinkedIn? You're welcome. I've been having that in my back pocket, ready to throw at you.
How do you make money in real life? Connections, right? Connecting with individuals, beginning that relationship, earning their trust. And at a point, you're going to transition that into business, right? That's the best way. Like Bob Berg says in The Go-Giver, know, like, and trust. That's what you build. And it's the beauty of LinkedIn. It's like that on steroids, right? Not that you ever had those, but.
Shots fired. I did. Equal opportunity assholes. I love it.
First, I want to say I think Kevin knows more about LinkedIn than LinkedIn knows about LinkedIn.
I would agree with that.
Just want to share that.
Especially going to the corporate office and talking to him. Yes, he does.
But I agree with Kevin. You make money on LinkedIn the same way you make money in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You show up, you are of service to others. Don't go there with the attitude of, how am I going to make money here today? Go there with the attitude of, how am I going to be of service to someone today? How am I going to educate someone on something that I know today? How am I going to help solve someone's problem? How am I going to spotlight someone else, right? How am I going to give someone else attention on this platform? And the business will come to you. It really will. If you have a presence there that makes people want to reach out to you, they will.
And then I'm just going to add on to both of them, because you have to build relationships just like you do in real life. But with LinkedIn, it's also about the quality of the content that you're creating. So putting like that, what we were just talking about, that fake AI, automated, that doesn't work. What works is real value first, and also being really clear on who it is and your messaging. Right. And, Stacy is one of the most incredible people. She spoke yesterday. She told you how to get your messaging. Get your messaging right for your audience, giving them value, giving them tips, speaking to their problems, but in a way that's helpful, not in a way that's just for business, in a way that's really genuinely giving value. And that's when the business comes to you. Right. So it's being really intentional about what you're doing, but doing it in a way that's really of a servant mindset.
How are most people fucking up the platform? What are they doing wrong? I'm coming today.
How long do we have? I'll say for me, the two things I see are, one, not being clear, right? Like Wendy just said, if you show up as a different person every week, nobody knows what to do with you, right? And I just see it, and I don't want to say anything too specific because I don't want to insult anyone.
How many of you guys have met somebody online and they were different than who they thought they were, you thought they were, once you met them in person, right? That's what she's talking about.
Yep. Be authentic. I know that's an overused word, but be authentic, and also be consistent. Don't make people try to figure out who you are. Show them who you are. And the other thing that I really don't like is just the misuse of DMs, right? I think we've all gotten those DMs that the minute you connect with someone, they're instantly trying to sell you, right? That's just not the right way to do it. Nobody.
The pitch slap.
Yeah, the pitch slap. Nobody responds to that, right? It's to the point that I sort of want to write back to them and say, does this actually work for you? Like, has anyone ever said yes? Exactly. Actually, here's what I do.
Or you introduce them to somebody else who pitch flapped you and say, hey, just go have fun.
So those are my two big ones.
That's the introduction, right?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I think a lot of it for me is, and I think this is with any platform, but you didn't see this on LinkedIn quite as much, is that chasing of virality by just doing generic content that's shareable, right? And so it's the same post over and over and over again, maybe with a different graphic, but the same information. And this is, people are putting it out there because LinkedIn saw it as valuable. I think it's changing and they're realizing what's going on, but people trying to game the system. And then what happens is the true real voices who aren't trying to game the system were getting drowned out. So that was one thing I saw that was really, to me, bothersome, right? But I also want to say that, and this is really important, on LinkedIn, if you have 1,000 followers, you can have a business. You don't need 1 million and you don't need to have 1 million views on your content. What you need is to hit the right people with the right message, and it's there.
And I've got two. One is just getting on LinkedIn and doing nothing. And that's what 90% of the people do out there. Maybe even 98% of them. They join LinkedIn. They think
What
it's a place
percentage
to hold.
of the billion actually post content on LinkedIn?
It's around 2% right now. So huge opportunity to get.
If you guys want to know any stats,
eyes,
figures about
right?
LinkedIn, I'll just keep asking.
The other thing is trying to be everything to everybody, right? The Jack and Jill of all trades. Everybody knows the next phrase is masters of none, right? Nobody hires or buys from masters of none unless they're running a convent. Doesn't work, right? You got to know what you're doing and refine it and make sure everybody else sees that every day and knows that. That's critical. So few people do that on LinkedIn.
So many people don't want to be on stages. They don't want to be the face of their company. They don't want to put themselves the fuck out there. What the fuck do they do on LinkedIn? Like they don't want to be that they don't want to be me. That wants to be on every fucking stage I can get on, wants to be the face of the freaking company. They don't want to do that. How do they show up on LinkedIn?
I'd say the first way is commenting, right? It doesn't take a lot to comment. If you're reading content and it interests you, add some value. Don't do the drive-by, hey, great post. Nobody responds to drive-by comments. Put something of value. The other component of that is put something that builds relationships.
What would be
with
something
that
of
individual.
value? Like, how do they comment on there that would provide value?
You could say something like, I really see where you're coming from. In my industry, this also works. Have you ever tried that? Again, when you're commenting, don't just make it a one-shot boom. Make it a part of a conversation, right? Because you want the person on the other side then to rally back and respond to you. It doesn't really work well if you're just beating people silly, but you can have some conflict in the process as long as you take it in an appropriate way, right? A clean approach, and then start building the conversation. And you'd be surprised what you'll learn, what they'll learn. And when you learn together, there's a bonding.
Can I say something
Please.
about that? I'm a huge believer. No? Who said that? Hey, I thought we were friends, lady. I'm a huge proponent of the comments. And, you know, do you guys know that you can see impressions on your comments now, right? Does everyone know that? I have had comments that get more impressions than my posts. So
They're pushing it hard right now.
do not underestimate the importance of a well-placed comment. Just like Kevin said, it feels less risky. It feels less scary. You're less visible. It's not just your big post out there with your face on it, but it has massive impact. So I just really want to say that that's a wonderful way. And if you're, you know, having a busy day and you don't want to make a post, just go comment on your ICP's posts. Let them know that you're there.
Yeah, 100%. Wendy, answer, then we're going to go with the crowd.
I took this week off of LinkedIn and I still spend time reading and going into the comments. But the one thing I did want to add is a don't. When you go into people's comment section, right, you're going to find you're following a lot of people who are in the same or similar business than you. By adding value, it's giving information. Do not promote your business in somebody else's post. Okay, that is a big no-no. Very frowned upon. So,
All right, we're coming out to the crowd because I knew it was coming, right? Because I was really trying to set these guys up. We'll go here first, then we're coming there. Come on. Please use the mics because we are live streaming and I need to pick it up.
Goes all the way back basically to the basic because I'm brand new to LinkedIn. I got kicked off Facebook about 6 months ago because somebody hacked my account from Vietnam. You know, and you know where that went. I lost all my contacts, and I haven't been on social media in 6 months. What do you all consider the difference in Facebook versus LinkedIn?
Oh, I'm going to take that first. There is Facebook entrepreneurs and there's LinkedIn entrepreneurs. Facebook, a bunch of broke ass people that aren't doing shit. LinkedIn's where all the money is. I'll say it.
Some of that would also be B2C versus B2B,
Yes,
correct?
100%. All your B2C shit's there. The money's on LinkedIn.
What about the level of the participant?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, is there age group, older business people
It's a
in
full
LinkedIn
spectrum.
or just full spectrum?
Full
Okay.
spectrum. Yeah. Coming
I'm
Nash.
loving it. That's what he
I got a really easy question and then something from more understanding. Can you help me understand impressions? You mentioned that, and I've seen that. What is the difference? Is that like somebody like slow scrolls, but like doesn't count? What does an impression really mean, and how do you know that
Kevin?
that makes a difference?
Take the mic though so they can hear you.
I was going to say, LinkedIn is really great on being vague about their definitions. An impression means basically somebody saw it. They could have seen it for a millisecond. They could have scrolled through it. They could have opened up, a bigger portion of it. They might have even got down to commenting or even reacting. All of those are an impression, right? You think about TikTok and when people flick through a video, right? And they're flicking on and then they watch one. Same thing happens with the immersive video feed on LinkedIn. You get an impression whether I flicked past you or not. I probably didn't even see your video, but I stopped on the one with Wendy. I watched Wendy's video, right? She got a real impression. You got a real impression. Where's the value? So don't get so tied up into those impressions. The real metric is, did you have a conversation?
Yeah.
Right? Did they get into the comments? Did you bring it into the DMs? Did you bring it into a conference call? That's your real metric.
Okay, awesome, thanks. Not allowed to talk. Oh, 2 questions.
You're done. Fuck off.
That was it. That was understanding. I was here last year. I heard this panel. I left on fire. I'm like, oh, I'm going to use LinkedIn, and I have a post on here that I just pulled up. It's 11 months ago, and I was super stoked, and I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic. I had a backwards hat on. I was smoking a cigar. I was doing a walk and talk, talking about and it said this post is not eligible to be boosted. Because I was smoking, but I was like, I'm gonna be me. I don't care the judgment that I'm gonna get. And I got 2 phone calls from people that I really respect that were like, what the hell are you doing?
Thank God. I love that you said that's fucking amazing.
And I wanted to be so fucking stoked about that. I'm like, you don't understand who anyway, I got motivated about it, but then it fucked me up. And I've been very it sucked. And so I make shit on TikTok, but I'm afraid to put it on there. So here,
Tell
I'm
me
like,
you dance.
you
Tell me
know,
you dance.
and then I get a bunch of women follow me on TikTok that aren't my clients that I'm like, oh, hey, maybe I should coach women. So anyway, I got fired up. I got inspired. I did something. And then one kick in the teeth and I fucking quit. So
Guys, really quick. If you put yourself out there, you're going to get kicked in the fucking teeth. I have people send me DMs, tell me I'm a fucking moron. How dare I show up and put out content like I do? It's going to come.
Do you want me to stop sending those?
Hey, please. All right. I had a guy send me a thing, goes, why the fuck would you ever post goats on fucking LinkedIn? That is the dumbest shit ever. And he's like, nobody gives a fuck about your fucking baby goats. Can you go back to business? Right. Here's what I will absolutely tell you. The more you continue to show up, the more your fucking people show up.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you're trying to build is a community of people. Like, we come from different fucking worlds. Like, I would never hang out with a person that is as bougie and as amazing as this person is, right? Fucking and look at the cool things we've done together because of it. So keep popping up and fuck them. They're gonna come.
All right, I have 2-part. First, I can attest to making comments. I just happened to check my LinkedIn, and in my notifications, it said that somebody liked a comment I did on a Gary Vee post 6 years ago. If you don't believe me, come to my phone. I will show you. It says 6 years ago. I did a 4-paragraph contrarian to Gary Vee because I don't agree with Gary Vee most of the time. So, but I like the fact that you talk about just be yourself and all that stuff. Being contrarian in a nice way is great. My my thing is I always say, stay curious. If you stay curious, your conversations will be much more authentic. My question, automation for your evergreen content. I know
say that in English.
evergreen
I
content,
know what evergreen content is. What is that?
automation. So
Yeah.
there's softwares out there that will post for you in a sequence that you decide, right? And so when I'm when I'm traveling, I like to have
So
posts go.
simplify the question. Should you use automation on the fucking
Yeah, what's the
platform?
effect of doing that?
That's the question. Kevin, all yours.
I was going to say, if you are going to use automation, use one of the automation systems that LinkedIn has actually said you can use. And there's a list. There's
If
over
you don't,
250 of them.
You will be kicked off the platform.
Yeah. Because otherwise, a lot of times, and some of them are free. The reason they're free is they're scraping data and they're using your profile to do it. And they use fingerprint blocking. So when LinkedIn notices that you're the only one there, they wore their mask, they're gone, and you end up getting thrown off LinkedIn. So be careful what automation you use. The other component, if you find that safe automation to use, even if it's LinkedIn scheduling, because you can schedule your posts through LinkedIn, be sure you're there when the posts go out. Because if a post goes and you're not around, right? And you're not interacting, first of all, you've lost a huge opportunity, right? You didn't have a conversation, and nobody's going to join you until they see other people joining in, right? And if they see other people joining in and you're ignoring them, they don't want to be part of that. So if you're going to automate schedule, be sure you're on top of it and you're jumping right in to cultivate that conversation. Otherwise, there's no reason to post.
So I recently took a 2-week vacation, which I never do. It's my 25th wedding anniversary.
This is so cool.
We were going to visit. Yeah, we were going to visit my daughter who was in Italy. Lucky me that that's where she was. And it was actually these three right here with me on stage. I said, guys, I don't think I can not post on LinkedIn for 2 weeks. I think I'm going to die. But I think if I post on LinkedIn and do my comment, you know, I try really hard to respond to the majority of comments I get. I said, if I do that, my husband's going to murder me. So either way, I'm in a lot of trouble. And what we came up with is I scheduled my posts, and each one of these wonderful people said, on this day, I'm going to take over commenting for you. And they were doing it under their own names. They weren't logging in as me or anything like that. They took over my comments, and I could relax.
I mean, let's be honest. Melissa Cohen asked me to freaking do anything on a post. Anybody ever been tagged in a post by Melissa? Holy fuck. How much did your account blow up after you were tagged in a fucking post by Melissa?
It was fun, right? And
Yeah.
I think you guys had fun.
Oh, I had a
right?
blast.
I think you guys had fun.
I had a blast.
So just to reiterate, if you're going to schedule posts, I schedule a lot of my posts. I schedule most of them. But make sure, to Kevin's point, that, yeah, you're engaging. Because if you don't, the post just kind of goes flat.
Yeah.
Because people see you're not responding and they don't engage.
Yep. All right, let's keep jumping to questions because we got a whole bunch coming. They're firing. Come away.
Right, so the one question I've got is, how do you recommend you have using your employees for LinkedIn?
That's a great fucking question. So if you have employees, how should they be posting on LinkedIn? How should they be showing up?
I'm seeing a lot of employee generated content. I think it's a great trend. You have to train your employees though, right? What they should post, what they can post, what they shouldn't post, but they should post about your business, right? They should be your advocates. There was one thing I read, which was one of my favorite things, that said, what if I allow my employees to post on LinkedIn and they leave? Which is a fear that people have. And the response was, what if you allow your employees to post on LinkedIn and they don't? What could that mean for you? If an employee is going to leave, they're going to leave. But in the interim, these are your biggest super fans, your employees that are very engaged in your business. They know your business inside and out. They know the integrity of your business, your mission, your vision, your values. They're the ones who should be promoting your business. And I think that the business will grow substantially when people see that, right? When your employees are your super fans.
I actually feel really strongly about this. I don't understand the mentality of employers that don't want their people on LinkedIn. I get it if you're in a highly regulated industry. If you're in finance, you're in legal, I get the trepidation. Otherwise, these are your biggest evangelicals, right? There are organizations that would pay tens of thousands of dollars in marketing for what your employees can do for you for free. And I would say have a social media policy, but don't be too prescriptive, right? Don't be like, here's what I want you all to share. Nobody wants to see the
No
same
politics,
posts.
world news, religion, right?
Right.
Give them the parameters.
Exactly. Set guidelines, set guardrails. You can give them ideas or assets, but don't like dictate that all 20 people on a team post the same thing because no one wants to see that.
Anybody
right?
see the Financial Advisor? It's the funniest thing in the world. If you go watch Financial Advisor because they're so regulated, you'll see the same post posted by 50 fucking people. And you're like, Jesus. And of course, there's no comments, there's no engagements, there's no anything on it, right? Let them free. Let them free.
Thank you.
Two-part question. Number one,
You can
going
only do
back
one
to
part.
sorry, Donnie, I'm going to break the rules. Going back to your building off what you said, what if you are B2C? How does that work on LinkedIn? Because we're still all humans when it comes down to it. So we're all customers, right? But I want to get your input on that. And then number two, do you see a difference in the different types of posts and reactions, like videos versus graphics, pictures of yourselves, pictures of groups?
I'll do the second part. It's easier for me. We'll let Kevin answer the first one. No. I mean, look, I a lot of my business is B2C. I work with a lot of individuals. So I think both work on LinkedIn. But as far as different content for me, it's key to just rotate, right? I like to have a variety of different content. Video works really well on LinkedIn in specific instances, right? So there was this big push for video on LinkedIn. There's a LinkedIn video only feed, and people went all in on video. Video works in specific instances. If you are speaking about a trending topic, it will work really well. If you're speaking about a trending topic and you get picked up by LinkedIn News, your video will go insanely viral. And there is a form for that. Yes. Yeah.
And if you guys want these links, forms,
Yeah.
all that shit, just send him a message on LinkedIn.
Exactly. The bad news for some of you is that selfies do really well.
Yes, they do.
Now, I'm not advocating for every single post you make.
If you want my selfie, I'll give it to you. It's fine.
Extra charge for goats.
Yes, extra charge for goats. Absolutely.
Don't post a selfie with every picture, but that's what builds that rapport, right? We talk all the time about know, like, and trust. That's what builds know, like, and trust. We see your face. We feel like we know who you are. So the selfie is really important, but mix it up, right? Do a carousel post, do an image post, do a selfie, do a video, do a poll once in a while. You know, that's what makes the feed interesting to me.
I agree. You should definitely mix it up, but also you should track your data and see what works best for you. I've tried doing just posts with no images. I don't really get much of a response, a little bit. Post with images with me. And the ones that with me, whether a selfie or even just a picture, I have some headshots. I did a studio thing once. Those get the most traction, right? Because people recognize me. And so then they're like, okay, what is she saying, right? And those are for the people who started following me. For the people who are not my people, they're not following me. And so they're just going to scroll right past me if they see me. So you test it and then you see what works for you, but still mix it up, right? It's interesting. Polls sometimes they get a lot of response, but they're very eye-opening. If you're posting a poll about your industry, right? If you're just posting a poll like, what's your favorite coffee? Do you like, PSL? Do you like PSL Parmesan? Right? That could get a lot of engagement, but it's not necessarily your audience, right? So you want to take all the posts and put them geared towards your audience, but mix it up and then track the data.
And B2C is on the platform
B2C
all
is-
day long.
We just back to polls. We had a conversation earlier this morning about HR. What does HR mean? It means different things to different people. You can run a poll and say, if I say HR, does it mean A, B, C, D, right? people who are picking those, you can then, at the end of your poll, you can go look at who said each one. And if one of them is, wow, that's my perfect, I do that solution, right? Now, not only have you had a poll, a successful content, but now you have a list of people to reach out to. So you can use those polls in different ways, just kind of digging into that data that LinkedIn provides to you. And yes, you can use it for B2C, B2B, MDM, it's all there. So definitely don't worry about the audience. 1.6 billion people, right? Who's not in there?
Yeah.
All right,
Beautiful.
I'm scared for this next one. What the fuck you want, Zach?
I love you, man.
I love you too, brother.
People think we're having an affair anyway. Might as well just say it out loud. We're having an
Somebody
affair,
came up to him
okay?
and they're like, what the fuck is up with you and Donnie?
We got pictures. We got pictures.
Yeah, you've missed a lot. By the way, PSL is a pumpkin spice latte, Parmesan, for those of you who have not had the pleasure of shopping with these two, like I have. Okay, any hacks? If I want to go after a specific target, like let's say corporate HR folks, is there any hacks as to how to draw that attention? And second of all, what's your opinion on tagging people so you can maybe try to get their attention to a post? Is that shitty?
Biggest hack I know is Donnie.
Nicely played.
There you go.
I'm out. Good night. Sorry. I fucking love it.
I can't even remember the question.
Threw himself off.
Parmesan cheese.
So you're looking for
How do you
hacks
get-
to do what?
Get to HR, like very specific people.
One of the things, first of all, you should be doing is you should be researching who should you be following, right? Do the people search, find out who they are, find out if you have connectivity to them. Another component is if you go into the search box and you just put your cursor in there, hit return, you're going to get a new set of filters. Click post, right? And then you'll on the other filters there, click latest, not top, click 24 hours, right? And then click by member, and you put the names in of those people you want to build a
if there's
relationship
like
with.
an HR influencer that's out there, got a lot of followers, a lot of content. That's what he's talking about.
Then what you do is you bookmark it, give it a name, HR leaders, right? Every day you're going to click that bookmark and it's going to give you out of your list everybody who posted in the last 24 hours. Engage with them. The cool thing about that actual running list, it's a curated feed that has no advertising, no sponsored content. It just has what you asked for. It's within the last 24 hours. So you're on top of it. You're going in, you're seeing their post, and you're commenting, and you're building the relationship. And again, in that comment, remember to kind of ask a question, prompt them to comment back. And I always have this thing, if you can have 7 touch points, that's the perfect time to reach it and connect. If they haven't already connected with you. Normally, about 50% of the time, they've already connected with me if I've had 7 touch points. So that's a great way to do it.
You have a video that walks people through how to do this, don't you, on YouTube or something? So reach out to Kevin. For those of you who didn't write it down or couldn't, I'm just going to say reach out to him on LinkedIn, and he has a video that walks you through how to do that.
Yeah, the other question was, should he tag the people he's trying to connect with? No.
No.
Do never tag anybody who's never going to engage or comment. It'll kill your post.
LinkedIn looks at that as spam.
Yep.
So only if you know they're going to comment back. And it doesn't hurt to send them a quick message and say, hey, Donnie, I just mentioned
Yes,
you.
I just tagged
you. Could you jump in? Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody sees that.
Oh. Hashtags, Kevin.
Believe it or not, hashtags do work. LinkedIn doesn't want you to know that, because what a hashtag does, if somebody follows a hashtag, what they're doing is they're circumventing LinkedIn's control of the feed. LinkedIn makes money by controlling that feed, right? If you go to a hashtag, you're not going to get ads. It makes money selling ads. So LinkedIn wants to push down the use of hashtags. That's why they've taken away the hashtag page and everything else. But if you use them, there will be people who will follow them. And then outside of LinkedIn, every search engine out there, And most of the AI also respond to hashtags. So you got this outside source coming into LinkedIn because you use hashtags. Don't ever feel bad about using them. Don't use 100 of them. 3, 4, 5, 10's okay. If you're going to put them all, put them at the bottom. If you want to look neat, don't sprinkle them out through the whole thing. But hashtags work. That's why they don't want them to work.
Right there, brother. Come on.
So Donnie, you asked at the beginning, what if I could X, then what I wrote is, if I could create a sustainable engagement cadence, I think I could be successful. What is your advice on what constitutes a sustainable engagement cadence?
Before you answer that, I told some people I'd ask this. How many hours a day do you spend on LinkedIn?
Well, it's not fair.
I know. I just want him to hear.
27.
23.5. I would say.
Mike.
Grab the mic, please.
So don't use this as your guidance, right? Because this is my job.
Yes.
I would say I probably spend 4 hours a day on LinkedIn. I would say probably 4 hours a day. But it's with purpose, and it's because that is literally what my livelihood is based on.
Right.
I will say, if you spent 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn, you could do a lot. If you do it in a targeted, intentional way, right? Don't just be doom scrolling. Don't just be seeing what's out there. Watch Kevin's video and see how to bookmark the people that you want to see and the people you want to engage with. That will cut your time down immensely. Be intentional with commenting, right? Be intentional with who you're following and who you're engaging with. If everyone in this room spent 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn, you would be amazed at what you can accomplish.
Stacy, Alesko, and I recommend that people spend about 12 minutes engaging in comments before posting your own post. Then you post your own post, and then you're engaging in your comments, right? Because people are going to start commenting, and that sort of alerts the algorithm that this is an interesting post, right? I also recommend putting a couple of sub comments in. Not everybody does that, but sort of commenting on your own post with extra information, continuing the story, because LinkedIn right now doesn't recognize whether it's your comment going in there or somebody else's comment going in there.
Don't do 20 of them.
No, don't do 20 of them. Do like 1 or 2. And if you put an image with it, it actually sort of expands the section so it looks kind of cool. Then post, then start engaging on your own post. And then also you may find time to go back and start looking at other people's posts. Starting with Kevin's bookmark, the way he tells you how to do the bookmark, knowing the people you want to engage with, follow with, do your post, continue to engage, half an hour, 40 minutes. If that's all you have, if you can carve out that amount of time, you will see a huge difference in the people who are reaching out to you. And the other thing I just want to add is this. If people are not commenting on your posts, it doesn't mean they're not looking. It doesn't mean they're not lurking. Some industries, they can't. Some people feel uncomfortable the way you feel uncomfortable lurking and learning. The way you feel uncomfortable posting, some people do feel uncomfortable engaging, right? But they're there and they're watching. And you may find that you get a DM from somebody who has never interacted with your post, never liked it, never commented, but they've been watching. And when they're ready to work with you, they reach out.
100%.
And I know you've seen that.
Yeah, 100%. My
I've
largest
seen that.
client came from somebody that never engaged in my stuff ever. To answer your question a little bit further, I'm a lazy motherfucker, right? I knew that I
That's
was
not a surprise to any of us.
I knew that there was no way if I didn't commit to doing it every day that I could actually be able to post, engage, and do it. I just knew that if I skipped a day, I was fucked, because I would skip 2, and then I'd skip 3, and then I'd skip 4. So you're going to hear these guys say post 2-3 times a day. I'm going to tell you, post every fucking day, right? And here it was for me. By 5:30, I am writing my post. A lot of people schedule, but by 5:30, I start writing. That post hits every morning at 6 a.m. And then I'm going to stay for a fucking hour, do nothing but commenting and engaging, right? That's my rhythm. So between 6 and 7, I'm at my computer. And what I found by doing that every freaking day is that's how I met Melissa. That's how I met Kevin, right? It's how I met Wendy. Because you find the people that are also posting right around the same time. And what you're going to see is that's how some of the really cool connections and things happen. And it's by meeting amazing people like this that you're going to find more clients and shit from their followers, because the more you're engaging on their shit, the more they come back and engage on yours. Right? Where we at, Peyton?
Yeah, so coming back and reinforcing about posting on non-work stuff, something that caught me completely by surprise, and it's not the jelly donut post, but it's a, I posted something that had nothing to do about work, and it took off. And about 6 days in, Mark Cuban liked it, and that really took off. And
That's a surefire win, period.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's how I found our 5th officer for our new chapter.
That's fucking rad. That's rad.
Yes.
That is
Yes,
so rad.
you want to add a little bit of personal, sprinkle in a little bit of personality in there, not too much information, but definitely sort of keep it, you are a person, and people do business with people, whether you're a business or not, they do business with the person. So you definitely want to sprinkle a little bit of your personality in there.
Nice.
Over here.
Yeah, first off, enjoy all three of you. Kevin, I've had the pleasure of sitting next to him twice, last year and this year. And then he walked up on stage and I said, "Oh, what the heck?" And then Melissa and Wendy just was able to share a meal with them yesterday. So absolutely fantastic, real all the way. So I love that. So my question is Sales Navigator premium or just go straight LinkedIn? What are either one of those worth it in your opinion?
I think a lot of it has to do with what do you want to get out of LinkedIn, right? So each one of those levels has a different approach and a different way to get something from LinkedIn. Sales Navigator is really when you're trying to fine tune targets and have a system to help you communicate with those targets and keep track of it. To me, it's kind of clunky. It's like Excel on steroids. It's with a little PowerPoint mixed in, if you can imagine that. It's not natural. It makes Salesforce look slick, right? So you have to be able to put up with that. You have to be a little geeky to use it, but it has some great power. Premium, is kind of a step in between. There are things now that they're doing with Premium with a lot of AI augmentation, helping you write, helping you find connectivity with individuals. That kind of stuff can be really valuable. There's also some other things like your link will follow you throughout, your travels through. And I know I get a lot of contact through that. So there are other little features within there, but you have to decide, does it move me forward? I know I've been a premium user since I think 2011. So I've always found value. It's always paid for itself. I'm now doing a beta test on a new product that's somewhere in between Business Premium and Sales Navigator. LinkedIn's always developing stuff, so kind of neat to see it. But you got to just kind of look at the piece and say, will I use all of that? The best thing is if you know somebody who has it, reach out to them because they can often give you 2 months free as opposed to 1 month trial, and then use it, right? And if you find in 2 months you didn't get what you wanted out of it, don't pay for it. Go back to where you were, right? So, always test for free if you can.
There in the middle.
So my question is kind of going back to the consistency, and Donnie, to your point, you post every morning, it's out by 6 o'clock. How do you know? My issue is commenting consistently on my own posts. How do you know when is the best time to post? Does it matter time of day, or does it matter that I just show up consistently to post at whatever time if my people aren't commenting at that time?
The best time for you to post is when your audience is online, right? If you have an audience that you want to reach.
2 to 4, right? Restaurants, right?
Restaurants,
That's the break.
yeah. Okay.
Exactly. And also what you're going to be able to be consistent at, right? And if you are not going to be online at that time, figure out the next best option, right? Because if you're posting during that time but not engaging, it's still not ideal. It's really about what you can be consistent with, and ideally when your audience is online.
And all right, we got 5 minutes, so we got a rapid fire.
So I love this. One of the things we've been experimenting with is videos with a call to action and like a free downloadable tool or something like that. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Is that helpful, not helpful?
You should always have a call to action. Always. What do you want people to do next? You know, Jerry was speaking about this earlier, but you want people to engage, whatever it is. Ultimately, you really want to lead them one place, and you need to figure out what that one place is. So if you have an offer right now, you want to lead them to your offer. If you've just started a LinkedIn newsletter, you may want to lead them to your LinkedIn newsletter. You may want to lead them to your personal newsletter. Whatever it is, you want to have a call to action. People don't take action unless you tell them to do it. So I think it's a great idea, right? And by downloading it, that call to action, you're probably also collecting emails from them. So you're building your email list. So that's a win-win right there.
Probably the best on LinkedIn, in my opinion, with calls to action is Adriana Tika. If you're not following her in her fucking newsletter, you're missing out. It's one of the best marketing newsletters on the fucking planet. But one of the greatest things she did one day is ask me what I do with, I sent her a message, said how amazing her newsletter was. She's like, can I use this? And then she writes, you should check out my newsletter because even Donnie thinks it's a good thing. She uses all of her testimonials as her fucking call to action, and it's brilliant. And every time she puts my name out there, I get a shit ton more followers, right? Because it's Adriana and she puts out amazing content on marketing, right? So, but yeah, the call to actions are amazing. Let's go quick.
Quick two-part question. Do you have a recommendation on any software to use to post to multiple social media sites simultaneously? And then the second half of that is, do you see a drawback in posting the same content simultaneously?
Second part, yes. Each platform, unique, individual. Do not post the same content through. Even if you're a lazy asshole like me, I've tried it. It doesn't work.
No, you want to, it could be the same content, but in different formats,
Yes.
right? Shorter, different, punchier for Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, so I can't tell anybody with TikTok, but I think we'll try and make it more fun. I don't know of any, so I don't do multi-posting. But again, if there are any that do, I would just make sure that it's LinkedIn approved. The other platforms may not kick you off, but LinkedIn will.
I think Buffer and Hootsuite are
yes.
both approved by LinkedIn. Those are the two that I would look at. Nice. Coming around where we at? Any other questions?
Yeah.
Oh, comment center. Oh.
Yeah, I got a couple quick ones, maybe only one. So I guess talk about real quick on profile optimization. Like how important is that these days? And like topic leader badges, I know that's a thing, but I've heard it's worth pursuing, and others I've heard that it's a waste of time.
I'm sorry, which badges?
Like your like topic leader badges, like I'm a top voice on.
Those are they're irrelevant. They're gone.
Okay. And then the last part would be like post structure. I've heard that like the first two lines are like 80% of where your effort should go. Like if you can't get past
Jordan,
the first
you
two
want to
lines.
answer hooks?
Like questions.
So profile optimization, extremely important. It's, it's the first thing that people see, right? So think of it as your business card, your landing page on your website. You want people to know exactly what you do, and you want a good picture. You want to be facing, I say facing, Kevin says facing ever so slightly so they can't, actually copy your face, right? Although I think they can now anyway, somehow.
I think he's just old and scared and doesn't want people to see what he actually looks like.
And there's a lot in the profile, right? That even I know I have to go back and change because I've changed what I do. It has sort of just changed over time, right? I've gotten clearer on my ideal client. I've gotten clearer on my offer. So as you change, you should also make sure that you update it, but just start with that headline. That's what people see. What do you want them to know? It should be about what you do, who you help, so that they know whether or not that you're the right person for them. And if you're not doing that, then they're going to probably scroll right past you because people don't care who you are until they know how you can help them.
I was going to say there's two sides to profile optimization. You've got the digital side, right? The data side. And if you think about LinkedIn as a database business, we're the product. We're not the customer. That's why you don't have a 1-800 number to call when you got premium accounts, right? We want to make sure we fit within their database. And you think about databases, if I'm selling you a data file, if I sold you one that was incomplete, would it be worth as much as a complete one? If it wasn't timely, if it was 15 years old and one was 1 month old, which one has more value, right? So you want to think about the completeness, the timeliness, and the accuracy of your profile. And one of the things that I said, I'll bet, if you could actually figure it out, I'll bet 70% of the people in this room have wrong, is while you're going through your profile, you'll have slots like title, right? As you're typing in that title, LinkedIn's going to produce a drop-down box. If your title isn't in that drop-down box, but you put it in there anyway, what you've basically done is you put yourself on the other shelf, right? If you run a retail store, where's the other shelf? Back by the bathroom, right? Is that where you want to be? No, you want to be end cap, right? So use those market value filters that are built into LinkedIn: title, location, on-site, employment type. They're all the way throughout there. There's about 40 points of that, including if education's important or anything like that, make sure you're using those drop-down boxes, because if you're not, you're now having incomplete data or inaccurate data, and it's not sortable. LinkedIn is a business. 65% of its revenue comes from recruiter. That drives how the site functions. If you are a great product for recruiter, guess what happens to your posts? They go farther because you're the product they want to promote.
Last question. We got to keep rocking.
One last question. Then we're done for today. I'm so sorry. Well, this kind of goes back to the call to action that Ryan was asking, and Wendy, you were saying make sure you have a CTA on every post. Obviously, that's related to when you're talking about your product or service. I've noticed when I post personal stuff, I get a lot more impressions than I do with the business side. So what's a safe split on how often you should post about your product and services versus just personal stuff?
If I were to advise, I'd say 10% personal, maybe 15. Even though you're getting more
I'm going to
impressions.
disagree with that.
No.
I'm almost 80% personal, 20% business.
See, but my personal is my business, right? Like,
Right, but
that's who
theirs
I
is
am.
not. Theirs is not.
Okay.
Right? A lot of these guys,
Okay.
their business is not doing LinkedIn. Their business is selling whatever the fuck they sell.
Right. But even that, you want to educate people on your content, like on what it is you're selling, right? So it could be like personal mixed in with business, right? There is a sort of formula that you can still talk about who you are personally while still talking about your business, and you sort of marry them together.
And watch this,
right?
because Kevin's going to disagree with me wholeheartedly. Go ahead.
I'm not actually going to disagree, but I'm going to say you got to know your audience, right? If your audience, all they want is personal, give them personal, they'll buy your stuff. If all they want is facts, give them facts, they'll buy your
So if
stuff.
you want boring,
right?
just give them facts.
So go with what your audience wants. That goes down to who are you selling to? If you don't know who it is, you're not going to know what content to post.
So I'm going to disagree a little bit more too, because here's the thing. Just because your post is doing better doesn't mean you're hitting your audience. It doesn't mean you're hitting your ideal client. So you could be getting more impressions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those are the people that you want to be reaching. So you do want to be very specific and targeted in it. So, right. So if you know your audience and you see your reaching audience, great. Double down on what's actually working. But impressions does not equal income. So you really want to make sure that at the end.
Oh, I'm going to disagree with that too. I can tell you, Baby Goat Sunday, who's ever seen that, right? I know exactly how much revenue that's brought the company, right? I do nothing about goats with my fucking business, right? I can tell you, anytime I've talked about almost losing everything, almost losing the farm, like that shit fucking hits every time. And I've picked up clients from those very specific posts. The more impressions overall, the more comments, the more interactions, the more things. I'm a firm believer that the more fucking personal you get, the more people are going to buy from you. They buy you and then get whatever you sell. Lean on that personal brand, who the fuck you are. Get vulnerable as you're willing to get. With one advice, share from your scars, not your open wounds. Right? Okay, that better be a fucking post-it note. Guys, we got to wrap this up and get ready for Rob Collins' session. Thank you guys very, very much. Give it up for Wendy Shore, Kevin Turner, Animalist.